So they'll be calling you a radical. So it's that time of year, the Ides of March are upon us. So salmon counts into another year. As we know, the 10-year mean, we're there now. So if you Google now, all the AI bots out there, they're going to verify Kevin Blanch was dead on it. As I said, standing right here in 2011, the Great Pacific Genocide, I cannot overstate this. I cannot overstate, and this is verified. I don't do opinion. I never did. I do hard facts. I am the only real scientist left in this fucking country. You're looking at it. I'm it. I'm it. Maybe in the world. So this is the greatest event in human history, the greatest PhD opportunity in human history. The meltdowns of Fukushima, Japan, as I named it, the Great Pacific Genocide. And this is what's so obscene, that the Great Pacific Genocide, that's been scrubbed. How many times have I said it? Millions? So let's talk about this. I cannot overstate this. The Pacific Ocean was absolutely thriving on March 10th, 2011. Thriving, that's unarguable. Humpbacks, grays taken off the endangered list. Salmon numbers are the smoking gun. We don't get dead humans in bone marrow transplants units. Oh, Kevin Blanch does. We don't get dead tide pools. Oh, Kevin Blanch does. We sure count every single salmon, from the Kenai to the Jedediah Smith. We count them all. So you Google now and get around and start using AI, it's going to say, yeah, the great number, the great return number on all the rivers, you got it, 2015. As I stood right here and said, listen, these are full-blown out meltdowns. It's going to genocide the Pacific Ocean. The smoking gun will be the salmon. Now, this is important because steelhead, yes, steelhead are salmon. They go to sea 1 to 2 years. So they go to sea once, they come back, it's called a half pounder. And then they come back the second year, life cycle's over. I stood right here and said, you're going to start to see a collapse in the steelhead immediately. You will not see a collapse in the Chinook salmon until 2016. And I said, I took so much shit because record returns on from the Kenai to the Fraser to the Columbia, the Rogue. Jedediah Smith has no dams. The rivers on this Great Pacific Rim that have no dams are exactly in symphony with the ones that do have dams. It's well admitted now, dying at sea, like everything else. So I took so much shit. I mean, and that's back when people were all over. I'd get many thousands of views on anything I did as far as the salmon. Everybody's jumping on I was on the ocean. I watched it for myself. I'm a fisherman. You know, it's record returns. It's unbelievable. I'm like, yeah, that's what I said. This is, again, I cannot overstate this. This is science. I don't do opinion. It will capitulate in 2015. Now, who could predict that? Oh, I did. Why? Because Fukushima happened in 2011. I knew there were multiple meltdowns. I knew that it never happened in the history of mankind. I knew this was the greatest force energy in the history of the planet, the greatest poison. As I named it Hot Watergate, it's going to boil the ocean, it's going to break the plankton. Big fish eat little fish. You will see this collapse happen in earnest in 2016 on the Chinook. So you Google now, the Columbia will say the capitulation, the greatest year they had ever, 2015. So 2015, now remember, and this has been verified by ODFW, WFW, well, WFW was having orgies in 2015, look it up. The head of WDFW was in prison for raping a fellow worker in 2015. So, but I used to call Oregon consulate. They all know me personally. I did so much work on this. In front of the dam, they know, they have boys out there. They have projections. Their projections were pretty accurate till then. Now they just lie. In front of the dam, you have a 50% takeout. Commercial fishing, tribal takeout. With the tribal takeout and the commercial takeout for 1.6 million returning on the Columbia. I just looked at their projections. They're projecting 147,000 springers. And you could go on every said river from the Kenai and walk all the way down to the Jedediah Smith. The Chinook salmon in this 10-year period window, as predicted and foretold by Son of Cassandra, is down between 90 and 99%. I mean, the Rogue's down 98%. Jedediah Smith's down 98%. Again, Jedediah Smith has no dams, dying at sea. So it took all these years. First, you hypothesized the knowledge. These are full-blown out meltdowns. They're going to push this heat. This heat is so radical, so crazy, it's going to boil the ocean. It's going to cause a heat dome over the western United States. Look it up. 2011, 2012, the Great Western North American Heat Dome. It's going to cause an acidification of the ocean. The healthy species is going to go, which I'm the guy that named it, the blob. It's going to break the plankton. You're going to see a starvation event, chain of reaction, and then it's going to move globally. You're going to see humpbacks, grays start to starve to death immediately 2011, 2012 because they're plankton feeders. NOAA comes out. NOAA was in denial. I'm walking the coast. First, I hypothesized the knowledge. These are full blown out meltdown. It's going to break the eco chain. It's going to cause the greatest ecological catastrophe, collapse to a fucking ecosystem in human history. It's going to give you cancer. Remember, I got cancer in 2011. I got ML leukemia, given a death sentence. I mean, I went into a bone marrow transplant center on 11/11/11. Down to 119 pounds, no pigment in my eyes, blisters. I don't know how I didn't die. I mean, I came out and immediately started working the coast. I was working the coast before I got cancer. I didn't get out until 2013. And, you know, I was back and forth. I'd go in the bone marrow transplant center, back to the ocean, back and forth. Working the coast, dead tadpoles at your feet. And if I hear one more idiot call it wasting disease on the sea stars, now I debunked that a long time ago, doing the work. Because the Upper California purple urchins went immediately. That was UC Davis and myself's work in 2011, before they collapsed immediately. The sea anemones, the sea slugs, the sea stars, they all collapsed exactly the same time, in symphony. In symphony with the humpback and grays. NOAA comes out and would lie to me. I'm walking the coast of California, and NOAA would say, oh, no, you know, not our job. When they're putting up detections. Now remember, they crashed Radnet on March 12, 2011. What's Radnet? Radiation, they just took it down. Now remember, they took the live cam off the Columbia in 2016. They were doing videos out there. But look at these great returns and using live cam footage on the Chief Joseph, the Columbia, the Bonneville Dam. I started to go to work on this heavily. And everybody's like, if you're wrong, you don't look like the biggest buffoon that ever lived. And I had enough confidence in my work. Well, we'll see. Everybody's screaming, calling me all over. No, Blanche, you're full of shit. I saw it with my own record return. I says, yeah. Will you believe me when it goes off a cliff in 2016? Yeah, but that ain't going to happen. Oh, did it? I mean, such an incredible... In science, we call that an outlier. Now, you know, they'll talk about the 10-year mean now. The 10-year mean doesn't mean anything now, because we've had 10 years of this radical ecological collapse, the Great Pacific Genocide. So it's that time of year we'll start watching again. I mean, I've done so much work on the salmon, it's unbelievable. Not to mention my work on grays and humpbacks. I like NOAA finally came out in 2019 after they've been lying and covering up, and said, yes, this was, the grays and the humpbacks started to collapse in 2015, and it was an unusual mortality event. I'm like, you're full of shit. And they declared it over. It ain't over till the world's premier scientist says it's over, Kevin Blanche. And I get no fucking credit. I get no funding. I get no, which staggering to me that I was right and I did all this historical work. Standing right here. All new knowledge will be persecuted, always has been, Kevin Blanche. So now you Google, well, you just start searching AI and it will say the great healthy salmon return number peaked in 2015, as foretold by Kevin Blanche. This acute radical collapse is just that, an acute radical collapse. So, it's unbelievable. It's the greatest ecological catastrophe in human history. Moved globally. It's going to get in the trees. Did it? Yeah. I mean, the acidification of the ocean. Oh, just an acute heat. Well, we don't do opinion. You know, and they say, oh, you know, hot water gate. I named it hot water gate. Oh, it's been going like this for years. It went like this in 2011. It's unarguable. In science, we call this an outlier. We have 10 years, well, we have more than that. We have 15 years. We're going on 15 years of Fukushima. And the byproduct, the greatest PhD opportunity in human history. The effects of the Fukushima disaster on the ecology. Kevin Blanch has done the greatest PhD in human history. What did I get for it? I mean, thank you to the people that have supported this historical work along the way. I mean, thank to every one of you. It's been lean, it's been hard, and it's been brutal. It's taken its toll on me. You know, I've had open heart surgery twice, as you know. My heart completely ripped out. ML leukemia byproduct. So it's that time of year. Oregon, Washington, Alaska, California. And the sad thing is they're still doing some fishing when these, I mean, they're on the verge of extinction. I never used the word extinction. I always felt like the mighty blue lady would fight back. I used the word genocide, properly so. The great Pacific genocide. So, I mean, all my work's been verified now. You know, the great year you go, I was just doing some work. You know, I'm going hungry. I'm going hungry. I remember the first time I heard that song. Why my cup is overfull. What happened to him? Wow, Seattle. Wow, Bill Gates, Seattle. Eek, eek, eek. I don't mind stealing bread from the mouths of decadents. Whoa, whoa. The great Pacific genocide. So we'll be back on Salmon Watch. I mean, a long, long body of work, incredible body of work, historic body of work. And I just keep doing it. But my work's verified now. You know, you could argue with me back then. You can't argue now. The greatest outlier in human history happened in 2011. I said it. It's going to immediately collapse the ocean. And the smoking gun will be the Chinook salmon. Why? Because they're going to see it for 5 years. And we won't see that collapse off a cliff until 2016. I cannot overstate how healthy the Pacific Ocean was on March 10th, 2011. 15 years of this poison. Fucking, they've never got near these cores. Never. Oh, got a new robot, got on. They admit they're full blown. It took 2,860 days for Leslie Stahl to get it out of Lake Barrett. Yes, these are full-blown out meltdowns. Well, this is like going to the moon to fix that. Leslie Stahl to Lake Barrett. Lake Barrett way bigger than that. This has never happened before. He calls it the witch's brew, which I call the Fuktonian. So it's going to break the chain. It's going to take out the planks. It's going to cause a chain reaction. You promised you would never break the chain. So the numbers are out. Can't argue with me anymore. I mean, it's just the greatest. I mean, my God, son of Cassandra. Nostradamus. Isn't even that. It's the greatest PhD in human history. This heat, this exchange, this power, this strength, this foreign, which I named Fuktonian. 4 full court mountains pushed into the Pacific Ocean, and you're going to chalk it all up to coincidence. Scientists are mystified, they're baffled, they're stumped, they're curious, they're alarmed. Wow. What a journey, eh? What a journey. So, down between 90 and 99% on all these said rivers. Again, the smoking gun will be the Chinook salmon. Kevin Blanch, March 2011. Why? Because they go to sea for 5 years. They will collapse off a cliff in 2016. Oh boy, did they. It's the greatest ecological catastrophe in human history. Put it in symphony with the wells, the common mirrors, the tide pools, the trees, the songbirds, and I don't buy into the fucking bird flu thing. I believe it's all Fukushima. Same with the demic. I believe it's Fukushima. Well, they're all in symphony. I mean, it's the ecology, stupid. Salmon Watch 2026. Stay tuned.